Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about, is Almighty worth buying? Now, long story short, is yes, he's worth buying. Thank you for watching. Nah, I'm kidding. Yeah. So Almighty is the most recent gacha character they've added, aka U-Watch? I don't know how to pronounce the name. It's a weird name. What I'm talking about, is he worth buying? I'll be doing, just dimensions, raid, see what he's good at, all that good stuff. Alright, so let's see. So I start off with dimensions, and since he doesn't have a dash attack, I wasn't expecting this to go too well, but he actually done pretty good. Almighty does a lot of damage. In terms of raid damage, he's currently number 4 for the strongest character. So as you can see in the footage here, I pretty much never stop moving. I'm constantly going forward and forward and forward. And it's because Almighty just kills the mobs so quickly. If he had a dash attack, he would be incredible. But since he doesn't, he is pretty slow compared to other characters who have dash attacks. But he just does so much damage that when it comes to dimensions, he's actually pretty good. He's probably better in some dimensions than he is in others. For example, this dimension here, he's very slow because of how long the map is. For instance, these bridges take super long for him to go across because he doesn't have any dash attacks, so you just have to rely on your dash. But other than the fact that he doesn't have a dash move, he is very good for dimensions. He just does a ton of damage. His awakening has a very big AoE, so it's handy for this last part, and he just kills the boss instantly, so he's good. So next thing I done was infinite. Now for all these tests that I'm doing, I will have my best stuff equipped, because everyone's gonna have their best stuff equipped now depending on what you're doing. So I think it's only fair if I have my best stuff equipped too. Alright, back to infinite. Now, Almighty is pretty damn good for infinite. So for the early waves, he's definitely slower than Garo. Garo has bigger AoEs and is just quicker for the early waves. But when it comes to the late waves, Almighty shines. Now it took me around 7 minutes 40 seconds to get to wave 100, which is pretty good. Now how I do infinite is I get to whatever wave the mobs start feeling like they take too long to kill. Now for me, for Garo, that's normally around wave 170. But since Almighty is so much stronger than Garo, I can go past that. It took me 13 minutes 50 seconds to get to wave 170, which is actually just like a tiny bit slower than Garo. But since he does so much more damage, I continue to go, so I can get even more trait tokens. So that's exactly what I did. I just kept on going until the mobs felt like they took too long to kill. So the wave I ended up stopping on was wave 190, which is 20 more waves than I would normally stop on. So now not only am I getting more trait tokens, because I can go to higher waves, because the trait tokens, the way it works is exponential. The higher the wave, the more trait tokens you get. So he's actually better than Garo in terms of farming as many trait tokens as you can possible. So this run took me 17 minutes and I got 1350 trait tokens from it. For the raid that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to have Elf as my first assist rather than Dio over Heaven, because I don't have Divine on Dio. I think Elf is my best assist that I can use. Now, as I said earlier, Almighty is currently number 4 when it comes to raid damage. Not only is he super strong in raids, but he's currently the 50% extra damage buff you get in Divine Guardian raid. Now, that's good for several reasons, because one, you get more rewards, so you get more raid tokens. Another good reason is because if you're trying to get on leaderboard, then it's really important to have, all the 50% character buffs. Now you can get on leaderboard without it, but of course it's a lot easier with him than without him. Now for this raid I got 258 billion damage, and I made sure to put on the best cards for him. High crit chance, high cooldown reduction, kind of similar to Guts. You pretty much want similar Guts cards. Alright, so the next game mode I done was Extreme Dimension, and yeah, Almighty was amazing for this. Pretty much all this really strong raid characters are really good for Extreme Dimension, because you don't need speed when it comes to Extreme Dimension, because the enemies are just so strong. Monarch isn't as good as Guts or Rimuru or Almighty, because he doesn't do anywhere near as much damage, and you need as much damage as possible for this game mode. I actually normally use Christmas Altar for my Extreme Dimensions, but I actually got a worse time with Christmas Altar than I did with Almighty. And I've used Almighty way less than Christmas Altar, so it just goes to show how good he is for Extreme Dimension. So this dimension took me 2 minutes 8 seconds, which was actually like 20 seconds faster than my fastest Christmas Altar time, which is kind of funny. I didn't realize how bad Christmas Altar was compared to other characters. I should really stop using her for Extreme Dimension. Now, I'm not going to be doing Raid Challenge because, you know, Raid Challenge and Raids, they're the exact same thing. He's still number 4 for Raid Challenge because, you know, he's number 4 for Raids. So he would be very good for Raid Challenge also. Alright, so next game mode I done was Boss Rush. And I was fully expecting him to be really good at Boss Rush because his awakening is insane. Not only does it happen instantly, but it does so much damage. Now, I only done a few runs with him because I didn't want to waste all my gems on Boss Rush tickets. But I was averaging about 8 seconds per, and on my fastest one I got 7 seconds. Now 6 seconds is absolutely possible with him, but I'm way too lazy to try and get that. It took me so long to get 6 seconds, I don't have the patience to try and get 6 seconds with him, but it's definitely possible. Now, last but not least is Time Challenge. Now, I left Time Challenge till the very end because this is what Almighty is the best at. He is now meta for Time Challenge. Garo is no longer meta, Almighty is better. Now, my previous Time Challenge record was like 1440 or like 1442. Now, I'm bad at using Almighty, and my best with him now is like 1513. Even though I'm not using him to like the most optimal I can, I still got like a 70 to 73 increase in my Time Challenge score. Now, in the first minute, I got 183 enemies defeated. Now, this is a really bad run, but even though this is a bad run, that's still better than what I would have gotten with Garo. Even on this terrible run, I got a 1489, which is 49 more than my previous record. So, Almighty is amazing for Time Challenge. Now, he's the new meta. Alright, so, is Almighty worth buying? Well, ultimately, that decision is up to you, but I definitely think he's worth buying. There's a lot of reasons you should buy him. One, he's a limited character, so he won't be here forever. And if you like to have all the characters, then I would definitely buy him. He's now meta for Time Challenge, although Time Challenge is useless. Doesn't do anything, there's just a leaderboard for it, but nobody really cares about it. He's strong, he's better than King Asta, that's for sure. And he's better than any of the limited raid characters you can get right now for raid damage specifically. He's the 50% damage buff for the Vanguardian raid. There's a confusion why you should buy him. He, you know, of course gives a stat collection too, which is nice. He gives 3000. So yeah, overall, he's definitely worth buying. I'm not sure when he goes, as currently there is no time limit on his gacha event, in what Oz does. Now, I highly doubt this, but it could be he leaves when the limited raids leave. Now, I cannot imagine that happening because he's only been here for like 2 weeks. This probably won't happen, but I don't know, it's possible. But I highly doubt. There's probably no way this is gonna happen. Alright, and that's it. I hope this video was useful. I hope you now know whether or not you want to buy him. If you watched this far, thank you. I appreciate it. If anyone has any video suggestions, please let me know. I really don't know what to make. I think my next video idea will probably just be Ichigo. So is he worth buying? I'm really not sure what to make. If anybody has any suggestions, I would appreciate you telling me. Alright, I'm out. Bye. Thank you for watching.